Hello, welcome to Local Lives. Today we're joined by the wonderful guest, Indijah Bead.
Thank
Desiree,
you.
would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Desiree. I am an Interior Salish beater and Lower Nicola, which is just outside of Merritt, BC. But I was raised in Vancouver by my mother and my grandmother.
Brought you over to Calgary.
Um, Vancouver's very expensive. It was really expensive. We kind of were pushed out a little bit. Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. I really love Vancouver, but I love Calgary. It's nice here.
How do you feel you've been welcomed by the community here?
I feel like Calgarians are way more friendly than people in Vancouver. So it's really nice, yeah.
And do you feel like you've kind of found your spot within the community here?
Um, I haven't been out enough to say that, but definitely you guys reaching out to me. I'm trying to find it, yeah.
It's pretty wonderful here. The community,
Uh-huh.
especially the Indigenous community, it's so welcoming,
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
so uplifting.
Yeah. I feel like there's more of an Indigenous presence here than in Vancouver that you can see and you can feel.
It's very much, say, more accepted
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
There's a lot more acceptance from and acknowledgement from the non-Indigenous community.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really
It's
speak.
really more normalized. Yeah.
Now, how would you say your online community has grown since you've moved out here?
I've probably doubled in the amount of people I know bead worker wise. Um, just the online beading community for me personally, my experience has been phenomenal. Um, I've gotten so much support, especially from other bead workers, and I feel like I found a place there, like an actual community that I can trust and rely on.
Like within the online beading community?
Yes, from the online beading community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for beading, would you mind telling us your story of beading?
Um, I started beading probably in the beginning of the pandemic. I needed a hobby. I was at home isolated. I wasn't working. I was going to school online, but I felt like a disconnect from everybody. So I decided to buy some seed beads. I think I was just going to do like just regular seed bead halves. And my aunt's birthday was coming up, and my mom had showed me these beaded strawberry earrings. My aunt had been like reposting from a Facebook group, so I decided I'll try to make them for her. Like I had no experience, no nothing. I didn't even fully, I think, understand what beadwork was and the intention and everything that goes into it. So I went on YouTube. I found an Indigenous beader who was showing how to flat stitch, and I watched it for 30 seconds because I don't have a long attention span, and I just went for it, and I started to bead. And ever since then, I probably have beaded every single day.
Wow, so you're self-taught.
Yeah,
Holy smokes. And so you've been beading just about every day since.
yeah.
So how many pieces do you think you've made?
Oh my gosh. Over 100?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So what sort of emotions overcome you or do you experience after you finish a piece?
Definitely like excitement, happiness, a bit of relief because you have a vision in your mind, but you don't know if it's actually going to turn out. So definite like pride, right?
And now does that differ when it's, say, a piece that takes you a lot longer than a piece that you might just finish within a few hours?
Um, I think it's pretty much the same, especially if it's like I'm just making it like through my own creativity. But when I'm doing like a custom piece, that's when I feel like there's a little bit of tension. I want the person who I'm making it for to love it, have a connection to it. So that's when it's a little bit like a more relief, more like when I send them the photo, they love it, like kind of more like pride. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So how have your pieces been received?
Really well. Since I when I started beading, I didn't want to like post. It was definitely something like a personal practice for me. But when my grandfather actually saw my pieces, he was visiting me. He was like, you need to share this. You need to start selling this. Like, you're really good. Like, people need to see this. So when I did start sharing it online, I didn't expect like anything. I thought I'd post every once in a while when I felt like it, and it wouldn't see any like the light of day. But as soon as I started posting, people were commenting and saying such nice things to me, and it just kept me going.
So
Yeah,
the online beading community you were speaking of earlier, how did they receive your beading?
really well. I feel like we're really supportive of each other, sharing each other's work, um, getting inspired by each other, like trading with each other. Like, it's a real community, like really close knit.
It's beautiful. Now, how has beading impacted your cultural identity?
Always knew I was Indigenous, but I didn't really know what that meant. I wasn't living an Indigenous life until I think I graduated and gotten reconnected with my Indigenous family in Merritt, and beading has helped me even reconnect with them. When I started posting, my cousins were following me, and they had no idea who I was because I didn't put my name or my face to my work. And like, we had met for lunch, and they're like, "Have you seen this beater? Like, I really want her work." I was like, "That's me."
Good.
So yeah, it's just like it's turned into everything I didn't expect it to be. It was something that calmed me, something that let me express my creativity, something that helped me cope, something that grounded me, and now it's turned into something that keeps me connected to others, to my community.
You know, that must be the ultimate compliment from a family,
Yeah.
not knowing it was your work and giving you that high level of praise.
Yes, it was. I was like, oh my God. Because I feel like when you create something, you're your worst critic. You're always like, oh, I see this mistake, but they really pumped me up.
Especially since you don't have to worry like, oh, there's family.
Yeah, like, of course they're saying that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so you're speaking about how important it is to your wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Mind maybe touching on that a little more?
It's everything to my wellness. It's how I feel like I have limited my anxiety, almost got completely rid of my depression. It really, I feel like when I go a couple days without beating, I can feel myself getting anxious and like getting really into my head and just disconnecting to like a safe, calm reality. So when I bead, it helps me create space, like a safe place for myself to check in with how I'm doing. Like, I'm able to disconnect to things that don't matter so much, that I'm over hyping in my head, and just focus on something that does matter to me, something that helps me connect again, like to my community, to myself. Yeah.
So it's been a huge part of, your reconnection.
Yeah.
Reconnection is healing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your ancestors would say if they could see your work?
I think they'd be super proud, especially because I was raised outside of my community, and now this is something I have, that like a gift of medicine that I can pass down to other people in my community, or like, my kids, my sister's kids. And especially my grandmother, I know she's super, super proud, and she was a creative person herself. And I feel like this would be something we would have shared together.
I'm sure you would have. Do you think of her often when you're beading?
Yes, I know. She's with me. This is like a piece, like, she's the light and the darkness is around it. It's I call it like eagle flying into dawn. When I started beading, I was hopeless. I was disconnected. I felt isolated and alone. And the eagle is a huge a part of my family. It's our animal. So I see her as, us as the eagle, and she is guiding me and helping me fly into dawn the next day.
That is just as beautiful as this piece is made.
Thank you.
Could I?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a hair piece. It's a hair clip.
Oh, that is just incredible. And the story behind it too must make it so much more special.
Yeah. Because this is one of the pieces I made in the beginning. It's probably like the first or second piece. Like during that time, it was beating how I was feeling. A lot of elders say that you should never bead when you're upset or you're feeling deep emotions or something, because that goes into the beadwork. But I did feel that like all the heaviness on me, I was able to put into this piece and change the intention of it. Like that, yes, I was feeling all this darkness, all this sadness, all this like hopelessness, and I felt lost, and I didn't know what I was going to do next, which is like, all the purple and all the mixed colors. But I knew that if I, stopped, breathed, reconnected, remembered that there is like a higher power, my ancestors are watching me, guiding me, that I was going to be okay.
Must have been so freeing.
Yeah.
To create so early on in your beading journey.
Yeah. And that's also what kept me going in the beginning. And that's why I didn't even think about selling or posting, because that's what beading work with to me. It was a gift. It was like medicine. It was healing me. And, it's scary to put yourself out there to share stuff. So it was something I had with myself, with my ancestors, with my culture. And until like my elder told me it's safe, it's time to put yourself out there, did I feel like I could.
What sort of emotions did you feel when your elder came to you to tell you it was safe in time?
A little bit of fear, because you do see how, you don't know what's going to happen. It is a risk, it's a leap. And this was such a safe place for me. Like I was in a controlled environment. But it also did make me feel good, like that I was good enough, that my work was good enough, that that something good could come out of it. So I was like, okay, if you believe in me, I'll do it for you.
Well, especially since your work is so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so raw with, the emotions you're pouring into it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be definitely scary to share. Do all the pieces you make now have?
Not so much anymore, especially like I have, it's like stuff like this, like flowers. I do more earrings, but this was journey period of time where I needed healing, and I got healing, and beading did come into my life, changed my life, saved my life. And now I want to spread like that kind of connection. I want people to feel powerful and beautiful and proud when they wear my work. So that's the kind of energy I bead into it now.
That's beautiful. And, you spoke briefly about how you kind of took that shift from beading as a gift to more of a business oriented mindset.
Yeah.
Can you maybe speak a little more about how it evolved even further from there to where you are now?
It was definitely my mom and my sister. Like I was like, okay, I'll share it. This was the first thing I made, right, was the beaded strawberry earrings. I was like, I'll share these, but like, they're not for sale. They belong to somebody. They were definitely like, since, you're not working, I see all these people, beading online. You're definitely, people would love this. You should, make some earrings, some headpieces, and just try. And so I was like, okay, I'll go for it. It was, again, like, it was so personal to me. It's really hard to change something you consider healing and medicine and sell it and try to make it like a monetary thing. But the support I receive from my community by doing it how I am so connected to them, that me and other beaders on Instagram, that we can all share each other's work, connect, makes it worth it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And where do you hope to see your business to grow?
I would love to bead some pieces for Indigenous Fashion Week, or the Met or something like that, or for movies, and maybe do some collaborations with some other beaters or other Indigenous artists, like people who work with leather, moccasins, or stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that'd be wonderful.
No,
I bet you're on the track for that.
hopefully, yes.
Other young beaters or those who are just getting into it, do you have any advice for them?
I would say just go for it. That's what held me back, is thinking that I would fail and that I wasn't good enough. But I just kept persistent. I believed in myself. I believed in my work. And just know that not everybody has to love it. It's not for everyone, but you will connect with people. You will find your community. You'll find your space. Everyone has their own style of art, and it will speak to people.
Now, about for those who are hoping to take that step into entrepreneurship.
I just say go for it. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was in such like a gloomy, horrible space. Like, I had no faith in myself. I had to rely on others to tell me that I was good enough. So just know, if I have to be that person to tell you, you're good enough, you're worth it, you can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. It's scary, it's daunting, but just have faith and keep going forward. You will make mistakes. It's going to be hard, but it's so rewarding.
How has it impacted you being a young Indigenous woman who is an entrepreneur?
Again, like, it's scary, it's daunting. Like, even on my page right now, I don't show my face because I don't want my work to be affected by my appearance. Growing up, going to non-Indigenous public schools and being the odd person out, it's scary. It really affects you. So keep going. You have to keep going. You can't let the fact that you're a woman, the fact that you're Indigenous, anything stop you. There is space for everybody. Anyone can do it, Yes, it's, again, like, it is harder being an Indigenous woman, getting people to have faith in you, to believe in you. But as long as you have that for yourself, that confidence, you can do it.
Thank you. This was the most impactful piece you've made.
Yes, because I've kept it. It means everything to me. When I first considered selling, I did post it to sell, and I don't even think people call it. I just got like a feeling like, keep this. Like, this is mine. This means too much to me. Like, I was trying to share the healing this piece had. Like, I know there's tons of Indigenous people and tons of Indigenous women who would like thrive off the energy of this piece, but I was like, this is my piece. So it learned that, like, beadwork isn't just jewelry, isn't just seed beads. It's medicine, it's healing, and has intention, and it does carry energy.
Sometimes parting ways with other works you've made?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I will, like, it will turn out exactly how I thought, and I'm like, I want to keep these, but I make mostly earrings, and my ears aren't pierced, so it's like, okay, bye. Yeah.
So,
I know, it's such
no
like a thing.
attachment.
No, well, I try not to. Like, I really do thrive on people enjoying my work, and people messaging me who purchased my earrings and showing me and saying, like, I was able to do my interview and have so much confidence. I went to the powwow today, and like, I was the star of the show. Like, everyone was coming up to me talking about my earrings. Like, that's the kind of energy I want to spread. Like, I want to spread confidence. I want to spread power like that. Yeah.
Now, how much do those messages mean to you?
Everything. It's the only reason I've continued this. I really didn't think this would go as far as it did, to consider it a business, to even consider growing it and keeping going. But when people message me, when people comment on my post and say, like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, like, I'd love custom work from you, it fills me. It fulfills me. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm so happy that, you're able to receive that kind of support.
Yes, I'm very, very lucky. Yeah.
This question a lot. Can you speak to what you see as, cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation? Yeah.
Yes. That's like that has been the dark side of this, is having to see non-Indigenous people copy Indigenous beaters and claim their work. But to me, appreciation is, I have a lot of non-Indigenous clients and people who purchase my work, and I think it's when you comment, you share, you support, you take time to learn what beadwork means to people, what it actually, the significance it holds, and Indigenous people to hold space to share that with you, and not being that like, I know what this is, I understand its value, I understand its worth. And appropriation is claiming it for your own, like going online, seeing one of my designs, not understanding what it means to me, the value of it, the intention, and copying it and selling it as your own. And when people confront you saying that it's boho inspired or something like that, and
Clear line.
yeah, there is, and it's not blurry, like it's really clear. Like there is, you can attend powwows, you can Indigenous art and all these things, but don't do Indigenous art. You can get inspired by Indigenous artists, but embrace your own culture, your own art.
I think your younger self would feel if they got to see the work you now create?
Oh my God. I think she'd be shocked. She'd be shocked, or I'd have to like hold her hand and tell her, listen, it's okay. I know this is not what you expected, but you are the happiest you have ever been in your entire life.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, how about the self that just started beading to now? If they could see the work you make.
Would give myself a huge, big hug, and tell myself to hold on. Honestly, just hold on, keep going, keep pursuing. I know it's quiet, I know it's scary, I know it's daunting, but there is a rainbow. There is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It does get better. You find happiness doing this.
No, that's beautiful. Now, we spoke briefly earlier in the interview about your sense of community. How do you hope that grows through beading here in Calgary?
I hope to attend powwows and do markets at powwows, so I can actually be within, the community, and not just online messaging. Like, to do events, maybe to even teach some beading classes and stuff. Like, I really want to be out there, like making change in that way.
Great. I hope you're able to find that. I'm sure you got a lot to teach in terms of the classes.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
And I'm sure, your story would inspire a lot who, are struggling to take that step into it, or, to overcome those hurdles at the beginning.
Yeah.
To describe your style of beading.
Definitely traditional and modern, but I don't like to put limits on my art. I create what I feel, I create what I think. Like, I do pieces like this, which is like has tons of deep meaning and means meaning to others. And then I feel what I like to push myself sometimes, like anything. I love to push the boundaries, push the limits. Yeah.
And is that something you've kind of developed over time? Comfort?
Yes and no. I just, like, someone will reach out to me and I'll tell them, I'll see how it goes. Let's see. Like, again, it's like, it's the go for it. Try. Because you don't know. You can't just assume you're going to fail. You have to go for it.
Very limit free.
Yeah. Art needs to stay that way. You can't have limits on art.
Now, is there a certain routine you have when it comes to beading?
Yeah, I bead literally all day. I wake up, I'll eat, and then I'll go to my bead room. I'll bead until my fingers hurt, and then I'm done for the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
In the beginning, I used to bead for like 11 hours a day.
Holy smoke, 11 hours a day.
Yeah, like from when I wake up to like midnight.
How you're
I'm good.
so you really did find your calling.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, like creating space for myself. Like I needed that time to lay a foundation, to create a routine, and to make it a safe place for myself.
And how do you ensure that it continues to stay a safe space for yourself?
I guess boundaries. Like I don't where I feel safe. Like stepping forward in a way where it's like, do I feel secure? But again, like I've been saying, you need confidence. You need to go forward. You need to take risks. You need to take leaps. So it's a mix. Like I think again, like I said, the foundation. Like I've already gone over the hurdles of like the perfectionism, allowing this to be a healing experience for me. So I know when I am beading, no matter where I'm beading itself is the safe place.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And so you're just, you're ensuring
Yes.
yourself first. And
Yeah.
wow. Well,
If I feel safe,
wonderful you found that.
Yeah.
And the work you make is just, I can't get over this. Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us and being
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I feel like I've talked your ear off.
It's been a pleasure listening. But that's it for us at Local Lives. Take care.
Thank you.